The new century ushered in memories and milestones that would grab the attention of the entire nation. In 2001, William and Mary distance runner Matt Lane was named the U.S. TCA Male Track Athlete of the Year after earning his 11th All-America honor. The next year, Old Dominion pitcher Justin Verlander was selected number 2 overall in the 2002 Major League Baseball draft, the first of a trio of first-round picks from the CAA.
Never forget, as long as I lived, we went down and played at ODU, and Justin was pitching. And you knew what you were going to get. You were going to get a fastball that was going to be 95 to 98. You know what? You're going to have to hurry up if you wanted to hit it.
CAA's success on the baseball diamond continued in 2006, when JMU baseball player Kellen Kobaki was named National Player of the Year after leading the nation in home runs and slugging percentage. All attention was back on the basketball court when UNC Wilmington upset 4th-seeded Southern California in overtime in the first round of the 2002 NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
You remember Brett Blizzard just shooting everything and making everything, but it's the moments like a Stuart Hare as a senior with that kind of exclamation point dunk that just kind of, it's the cherry on top of the ice.
Behind the stellar play of Brett Blizzard, the Seahawks made 3 NCAA tournament appearances and reached the NIT once between 2000 and 2003.
I really didn't know who he was before we got in the league, but I knew who he was when we left. That's for sure. The thing about Blizzard was that he made all the tough plays. I mean, he just, every time they needed a basket, he came up with it.
He was not only player of the year for several years, he was made All-League for 4 years. He was All-Tournament for 4 years. And, you know, I had the opportunity to do their last game when he was a senior. And just the show of affection that the people in Wilmington had for him was incredible.
The 05-06 season started strong when Drexel advanced to the Final Four of the preseason NIT, an accomplishment bookended by Old Dominion's win over CAA foe Hofstra to advance to the Final Four of the postseason NIT. But March Madness was far from over. With UNCW capturing the CAA title, George Mason earned an NCAA at-large bid. As the 11th seed, the Patriots advanced to the 2006 NCAA Men's Basketball Final Four.
You know, we talk about the teams they beat. They beat 3 of last year's Final Four en route to that, Michigan State, Connecticut, and North Carolina.
The entire nation loves an underdog story. And we became Cinderella very early on and were able to ride a magic carpet ride all the way to Indianapolis in the Final Four.
You know, if you weren't a Florida rooter, a UCLA rooter, an LSU rooter, you were rooting for Mason.
I know how superstitious coaches are, so I would text him before the game, good luck, and then text him after the game. So I was like, I better keep doing this because I know he might be one of those guys that are a little superstitious and say, I didn't get a text from this guy because he used to always respond. So you know, we kept doing it throughout the whole tournament.
Kids are talking about it. They're coming off the floor and rubbing the tie, you know, before the games. And I said, you got to understand, it's a lucky tie. This is Mason's lucky tie.
Every TV camera, every print media writer was following us around, doing interviews, radio interviews, TV interviews, and it was really an amazing experience. And even when we arrived at Indianapolis, one of the streets was called George Mason Boulevard.
Jim just hit all the right buttons at the exact right time all the way through, and the kids responded and did something that no one had ever done before, and you know, maybe a long time before anybody sees it again.
CAA basketball was back again the very next season, and this time they packed their dancing shoes. While VCU cut down the nets in Richmond, Old Dominion earned the conference its 2nd consecutive at-large bid, but it was Eric Maynor's first-round performance versus Duke that left the college basketball world abuzz.
Maynard, is this the dagger?
You can just see that it was his team, and when you play that game, the one-word association game, just leader is the word that immediately comes to mind because kids rallied with it. He led them. He took them places.
And just to be able to, the main thing was to win. You know, it wasn't just about what I did. You know, I was just happy to come out with the win.
Maynard would go on to become VCU's all-time leading scorer. and a first-round NBA draft choice in June 2009.
He made everybody around him better. I think that's the one thing that people don't appreciate. Sometimes you can be a good player and you don't make people around you better, but he made people around him better. Like I said, I think by far the best player that I ever coached against in this conference.
Just as impressive, the 2007 postseason saw Old Dominion, Delaware, and James Madison represent the CAA in the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament, marking the first time the CAA was represented by 3 teams.
As a coach, you're up late nights just watching film and staring at the ceiling because you know every opponent you play in this league is a tough opponent. There's never an easy game.
All of a sudden it's a night-to-night nail-biter, clawed out, and it happens not just in one gym, it's happening in 5 or 6 gyms every night that we play.
Through comprehensive television agreements with the entire ESPN and Comcast Sportsnet family of networks, the CAA has averaged over 100 telecasts in each of the past several years, reaching millions of potential viewers every game.
The TV packages we've had the last few years are amazing. We got games every week, and the kids love that. The players love it. They like to play in these games, and I think the fans enjoy coming out, and it's been a real plus for the league.
In the spring of 2007, it was Delaware's men's lacrosse enjoying the national spotlight. Led by All-American Alex Smith, the Blue Hens captured the CAA championship and advanced to the NCAA Final Four.
Alex was a great face-off player. He was just dominant throughout his career at Delaware. He was good in his first 2 years, but his last 2 years he had an amazing winning percentage.